What's up, nail geeks, and welcome back to another Psyche Minerals collection. I'm super stoked to show you all these. Normally we get trios and sometimes quads from Psyche Minerals, but this time we have just a little bit bigger of a collection to check out because this is also going to go into her June releases too. And I also have her March trio, so a nice lengthy little swatchathon to check out. Without further ado, let's dive right in. We're going to start off with Kalanchoe Glow. Thank you, Google, for helping me with that pronunciation. This is described as a light peachy base with green to blue to violet aurora shimmer. Kalanchoe has a jelly type formula to it. I'm going to suggest 3 light coats. Go in soft and let it self-level. It has a perfect leveling to it, and you'll prevent any type of over buildup. Use that paddle brush and exploit it to get this one to spread so smooth over your nail. This is quite warm, and as a peach, I'm going to go out on a whim and say this will absolutely play up against your individual skin tone. Personally, on me, I didn't mind it. It's warm, and I thought it still looked really pretty on me. So very springy, very clean, almost palette cleansing. Sucker for Succulents is a medium pink base with gold to yellow shimmers that shift from blue to green at the most extreme angles. I do agree with that official description. Most of the time I saw this in that golden shift that you're seeing on the video here. The blue to green type of glow, I honestly saw it like if you hold your hand where you're just looking at your fingertips, you'll see it at that type of extreme angle. It's quite subtle, but overall you just got this mostly golden type of glow. Succulents has a creamy, smooth formula, excellent self-leveling property to it. So I thought 2 coats and a glossy top coat was perfect. Aloe You Very Much is a lovely spring teal cream. I agree with the official description. To my brain, this is kind of what I think of when I think of the color teal, more of a gardeny sort of color. Aloe has a crelly type formula. It has a very jelly lean to how it applies. So I'm going to suggest 3 coats. I did 2, and in retrospect, I probably should have gone up to that 3rd coat to give me that plumping factor that I'm always talking about. It dries down semi-gloss, so I think any top coat across the board is going to work with it. The Calm Before the Storm is described as a shimmery gray-blue base that goes between pink, yellow, orange, and green at the most extreme angles with silver reflective glitter. I'm always saying on my PPU videos that Molly does reflective glitter finishes so ridiculously well because she doesn't skimp. There's so much, and it's so sparkly and blingy that even in, regular indoor lights, you'll see a bit of a twinkle. Storm has a thicker formula to it. It's quite viscous. You'll want to do what I'm always saying with these types of finishes and use the grit and texture from your previous coat to adhere your next coat. I'm going to strongly suggest using a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat with this as it dries down quite textured, very thirsty, and you want to smooth it out and get that sparkle to shine. April Showers is described as a medium purple with hollow shimmer. Now, I know this one's purple, and I'm always trying to throw shade at purple whenever I can. I have no shame. I wore this for a couple of hours after I swatched. So the batch I worked on that day, I had this one on as the last one, and I just kind of pranced around my apartment with it, and I was thoroughly enjoying this. The hollow particles are definitely linear, but they give you this almost shimmery sparkle. It's really pretty. Not quite sparkly like a glitter. It's like a hollow fleck effect. It's very, very pretty. I tooted my own horn. I shoved my hands in my husband's face. This is a really flattering purple color. And ironically, this is my top pick in the video. It's just, I don't know, there was just something about it. It has a lighter jelly type formula, so I'm going to strongly suggest 3 coats and a glossy top coat. Annabelle is described as a shimmery pink base scattered with pink reflective glitter. Very similar to Storm in how packed full of glitters it is. It has a thicker, viscous formula to it. If that bothers you on either one of the reflective glitters, I would suggest using a thinner of some type. My personal favorite is from KB Shimmer. I've gone through 2 of the squeezy bottles at this point. I mostly use it for my glossy top coat. Just remember, when you are using thinner in your polishes, if you choose to do that, treat it like you're cooking and you're adding salt. You can always add in, but you cannot take out. So I would suggest maybe 3 to 4 drops to get this at a lighter consistency if that is your preference. Annabelle is an incredibly flattering pink. It's got quite a bit of a glow to it, and it's got a touch of a stronger dominant color roll with that golden type of look. You can kind of see it on my macro shot there. I'm going to strongly suggest glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat to smooth this out. A Peony for your thoughts is described as an orchid cream. I do agree with that. And on my photos, this one is pulling a touch light. So for a better representation of what I'm seeing in person, I would just refer to the actual video, especially my full hand shot here coming up in a second. Peony has a very smooth, ultra self-leveling cream type formula. This was really satisfying to apply. I think if you wanted to go in heavy-handed, you could absolutely make this a one coater. But I always say I like, even on one coaters like that, I prefer 2 light to somewhat normal coats to give me that super gel-like thickness I'm always going for. This dries down semi-gloss, so any top coat is perfect. Butterfly Kisses is described as a light pink jelly base with blue to green to violet shimmer. I would have to say Butterfly Kisses to me seems like a distant cousin to that first one, Kalanchoe, and I think that they both have that lighter type of look and how they build up. And the shimmer is what I would consider like medium type of strength. With Butterfly, you're mostly going to see that almost greenish type of glow that you see on the video here. And it's kind of flirting a little bit with this like greenish, goldenish sort of look. At the most extreme angles, there is that nice violet shift, but again, it's quite subtle and at the most extremes. I'm going to suggest 3 light coats as this does have a plumping factor. You might want to use a blurring base if you have a prominent natural free edge. We're going to finish this off with the Willet Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate if polishes have layering capabilities. There was a couple surprises in this batch for me. I wasn't quite sure how, say, this first one and then Butterfly was going to look, but I think they passed the test. Please note that they appear kind of milky over dark colors though. Sucker for Succulents, I personally would not topper this one. I think it's too opaque. Calm Before the Storm and then Annabelle, both of the reflective polishes toppered very, very well. I do think if you're going to try to topper them that you might want to definitely use the thinner. April Showers, I personally would not topper this one. It is so stunning alone. I think you're dehorning a unicorn. Again, same disclaimer for Annabelle. It's a little thick to use as a topper, so if you thinned it, I think it would be really cool and a little versatile over darker colors. And then lastly, of course, Butterfly Kisses was very similar to Glow. These are all currently available in Psyche Minerals shop. I will link you guys below to that, including her Facebook group where Molly herself, you can interact with her and see all of her updates, any flash sale info, all of that good stuff. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.